Brutalist, Adrien Brody. And at one point in the movie, your character, Laszlo Toth, is asked, why architecture? Adrien Brody, why acting? You know the old joke about like writing about music is like dancing about architecture? You're a painter. Paint me about acting. Why acting?
I'm plagiarizing this, but it beats working for a living. And it didn't occur to me before he asked me the question. I mean, I am so grateful to have found acting and for acting to have found me, and I do owe that to my mother as well. She had an assignment to photograph in acting school when I was a boy, and saw that I love people and study people and human individuality, and would always kind of tell stories and recreate things. And so she just saw that I had, it would be a good fit for me, and it also kept me off hanging out on the streets of Queens. So
anybody
else?
Now. I mean, anybody else in your family? Like, are you descended from actors? Anybody?
No, although my grandfather aspired to be an actor here. I mean,
Hungarian grandfather?
My Hungarian grandfather, yes, my mother's father. We're very similar in a lot of ways. I mean, he got a job as a kind of tertiary role in a play on Broadway of Zorba the Greek, is my understanding. And he was required to dance, and which I don't think he was a great dancer. And but there was a moment where the director had made some choices, and my grandfather piped up and told him how he thinks he should do it. Which I can relate to. So, I mean, my poor grandfather got fired. So there went his acting dreams.
There you go. There you go. Do you do that too?
I do tend to do that. I try to bite my, maybe it's the Hungarian in me, but I tend to, it's my humble opinion, but I think you might want to put the camera over. Maybe come a little closer.
You know, Wes Anderson, does everything have to be symmetrical?
No, definitely not. I mean, most directors I've worked with do not need symmetry, fortunately for me and for the kind of movies we make. But
well, much like your character, you have an interest in design and restoration. If we were to drop in to your crib, what would be the design aesthetic that we would experience?
I have a pretty eclectic taste. I do like to integrate things that have moved me or that I've found along the way in my travels. I don't want to digress from this too much, but when I made the Darjeeling Limited with Wes Anderson and Owen Wilson, and I tried to figure out how I could buy one of the train cars that we shot in to ship it home and put it in the countryside, and I thought it would be an amazing thing. And it was such an enormous cost to ship alone a train car, so I ended up not doing it. But then I went to Owen Wilson's house, and he just asked for a door. And it is so freaking beautiful on his wall. It's a work of art, and I was so mad that my vision is so big. But I tend to find things that are unique, that are fun in the house. And I went antique shopping in the countryside, and I found this beautiful old slot machine, nice antique slot machine.
Well, one-armed bandit.
Yeah, one-armed bandit. And not that I'm a huge gambler, but I thought it just looked nice. Right?
Sure.
And it was so beautiful. I bought it. We loaded it in the hatch, and I'm driving home. And you guys remember that movie Big? I think most of you weren't born yet, but yeah. Okay.
Zoltar.
Exactly, Zoltar. Yeah. I auditioned to play him in that movie. I was a child actor, and I auditioned to play Tom Hanks as a boy, but I didn't get the role. Anyhow.
Would have been a good movie.
It would have been if only they had hired me.
Exactly.
It would have been better for me, for sure. Anyhow, we're driving home, and this eerie, kind of mystical music starts emanating from this unplugged slot machine in the hatchback. And it starts playing, and it's playing and playing, and I'm like, I scored. I got a haunted slot machine. I scored. I mean, I thought this is going to be amazing. I didn't know what would, and I bring it home, and I'm trying to understand what. Maybe there's some battery that remained, but this is old. I didn't. Yeah. And I get it home, and it turns out the poor woman who sold it to me had opened it up to show me how it worked and how the mechanism worked, and she forgot her cell phone in it, and she was frantically calling for me to pick up. I was so disappointed.
Well, Adrien, lovely to see you again. Thank you so much for being here. The Brutalist is in select theaters on Friday and nationwide on January. Adrien Brody, everybody. We'll be right back with Ben Schwartz.